Nowadays we literally do everything on our phone. Like, if I have to remember something, I'll just open my phone and I put it in notes. If I have an idea, notes. If I have to do something, reminder. If I want to write something, again, phone. And I was exactly like this before 1st Jan. I used to do almost everything on my phone, and honestly, I never really thought that there was anything wrong with it because of the habit. I was like, what's the difference? I'm writing it down anyway, right? But then from the 1st January, I thought, okay, let me actually start using a diary, just like I used to do in my school days. So, I started using the diary, and I didn't have something big reason behind it. I just wanted to go back to that old habit of actually sitting with a pen and writing things down. Because if you remember school days, we used to write everything in a diary, notebooks, little notes, even random things that made absolute no sense. For example, and names also. And somehow we didn't find it boring back then. But now I feel like we have become so dependent on a phone that even our thoughts have become digital. And when I started writing it in my diary, initially I was just like, okay, I'm writing, that's it. But slowly I started noticing something. When I'm typing something on my phone, I can say, like, I can write it very quickly and then immediately move on to something else. But when I'm actually sitting with a diary, there's this different kind of pause. I'm sitting there, I'm writing, I'm thinking about what actually I am feeling right now. And sometimes I just start writing about one small thing and then I realize, wait, this isn't even what is bothering me. There's something else. And that's when I started understanding why people have been writing diaries for so many years. Like, for example, why our teachers used to say that just note down your notes in your diary, just write your homework in your diary. I think now we realize it so closely. And that's when I started understanding, like, it's just not about remembering what happened in your day. Sometimes it's about understanding what's happening inside your head. And honestly, that's probably the biggest difference I noticed since I started writing again. So I'm recording this video in August. So I started writing my diary from 1st January. So it's around been 8 months I'm writing my diary. And trust me, the lot of things has changed, a lot of things. And my personal diary always stays with me on my study table itself. Let me show you. So I'm using this diary. This is a spiral diary, and trust me, I'm absolutely loving the pages. Everything. The pages here are so absolutely right. See, I'm using this diary. It's completely best. And I think this is where journaling started becoming more useful to me, because there are days when your mind is just full. You have so many things to do in your life, but you don't even know what exactly is bothering you. You might be thinking about your futures, something someone said to you, something you did, something you should have done, and all of these thoughts are just running together. And when I used to keep all of this in my head, I would just keep thinking about the same thing again and again, even in nights. But now sometimes I just take my diary and start writing. Even if I don't know what I'm going to write it, I'll just start writing something like, I don't know what's wrong with me today. And then I keep going, and somehow once those thoughts are on paper, they don't feel as heavy as anymore in your mind. I think because when something is in your mind, thing is only inside your head, it can become much bigger than actually it is. But when you actually write it down, you can see it, you can look at it and think, okay, this is what I actually is actually bothering me. And sometimes you'll even realize that the thing you were overthinking for 2 hours is actually just one small tiny problem. For me, that's what I like about a diary. It's not giving me advice, it's not telling me what I should do, it's just giving me a place to put everything that's going on in my head. And maybe that's why I really like journaling can actually save you sometimes your time, your energy, everything. Not in some dramatic way, but just by giving you a few quiet minutes where you can stop, put your phone away, and actually listen. And you know what I feel is the biggest difference between writing something on your phone and actually writing it in your diary. We remember it differently. Like nowadays, whenever we see something that we like or something that we want to remember, what do? We just save it. a reel, we save it, a post, we save it, something important, screenshot, something we have to do, reminder, and then just look at your phone once and check how many things you have saved in your gallery. You will, like, it's infinite, you won't be able to count it. Like, how many reels are actually sitting there, how many screenshots, how many reminders did you put, because at that moment you thought, okay, I'll definitely do this later, and then you forget. And I'm not saying this because phones are literally bad. I do the exact same thing. My phone is literally with me all the time and I use it for everything. But I feel like somewhere we have started depending on our phones too much. Like, when if we have to remember every thing for us, and because we know that our phone has saved it, our brain doesn't feel the need to remember it. Like, sometimes I'll save a video because I found it really useful on Instagram, and I'll tell myself I'll watch this later, and then 1 week later I'll open my save section and there are hundred of videos, and I'm like, wait, when did I save all of this? And I probably won't even remember when I saved half of them and like for what purpose I have saved them. But when you actually sit down with your diary and write something with your own hand, I like it literally feel that like there is a kind of different connection with that thought, you are not just saving it, you are actually giving it your time, and I think that's a very big difference. Because when I'm writing something in my diary, I'm not just thinking about what I want to write, I'm also thinking about like why am I writing it. Like, if I write today I was feeling really bad, I can just write that and immediately scroll to the next thing. I'm gonna actually stop and think, okay, but why was I really feeling in that way? And then maybe I'll write another line, and then another, and suddenly I've written half of a page about something I didn't even realize was bothering me that much. And there's something I don't think happens as often. We just type because typing is really very fast. You think something, you type it, you save it, and you're done. But writing by hand is slower, and honestly I think that slowness is actually good for us sometimes, because we are always in such a hurry. We want to reply quickly, we want to scroll quickly, we want to consume everything quickly, even our thoughts. We don't really give them time anymore. And when I sit with my diary, there is no notification telling me to check something. There's no reel waiting for me, there's no message popping up. It's just me and that page. And maybe that's why I remember things better when I write it in my diary. I still remember some things I have written because I actually sat there and thought about them. And I think this is also why we remember things from our school. Think about it. We used to write so much in our school. We wrote dates, we used to write random things in a notebook, we used to write little notes to our friends, we used to write things again and again because we had to. And some of those things stayed with us. But now we have everything stored somewhere in our phone and still we forget it. We have reminder for everything that we could probably remember ourselves if we actually paid attention. We have hundred of screenshot of things we want to remember. We save code that we want to live by. We save videos that we want to watch. We save routines that we want to follow. But saying something doesn't mean we actually processing it. And that's probably what I like most about my diary. When I write something down, I feel like I'm not just storing information, I'm literally spending a little time with it. And maybe that's why for me the diary has become more than just an old school habit. My phone helped me save everything, but my diary helped me remember them. And I think there's a difference between both of them, diary and a mobile. If you're literally confused, just go to any of your old school diary or your school calendar if you have right now. Just have a look. You have written a lot of things there and you still remember few of them. Doing this for a few months, I think the biggest thing I have understood is that a diary isn't really about writing everything that happened in your day. I mean, sometimes I do write about my day, sometimes I literally write today was a good day or today was not a good day. But slowly I started using it for something else. I started writing about myself, what I am thinking, what I'm scared of, what I'm excited about, what I want to do, everything that I don't really understand yet. And sometimes, when you can write something down, you can actually see how much you have changed. Like, imagine writing something today because you worried about a particular thing, and then after a few months, you open that same page and realize, oh my god, I was so worried about this tiny thing that didn't even existed at that time. And maybe that problem doesn't even exist anymore, or maybe you solved it, or maybe you just grew enough that it doesn't bother you in the same way anymore. And I think that's much a beautiful way, like keeping a diary, it gives you a record of your own growth, because normally we don't notice our growth, we are always looking at what we haven't done yet. So I haven't achieved this, I haven't learned this, I have I haven't become the version of myself. But when you go back and read your old pages, you sometimes realize, wait, I actually have changed, and that's something I really like. I also don't think journaling needs to be this perfect aesthetic thing that we see online, You don't need a beautiful diary, you don't need a perfect handwriting, you don't need stickers and colorful pens, you don't even have to write every single day, because I know every single day there won't be anything special or anything you will be worried about. But the only thing is that you just open your diary and write one page. Sometimes it's just one sentence, or sometimes it will be literally, I don't know what am I doing right now, and that's okay, because the diary isn't for Instagram, it's for you. And I think that's probably why after starting this on 1st Jan, I started seeing my diary differently. Earlier I thought I was just replacing my phone notes with a notebook, but now I feel like I was actually creating a small space where I can just write, be with myself for a few minutes, like where there is there are no notification, no scrolling, no comparing, like no trying to look productive, just me and whatever is going in my head. And honestly, sometimes that all you need. So if you're someone who feels like your mind is always running, or you keep overthinking things, or just feel like you have too many thoughts and now where to put them, maybe just write it in your diary, because that will literally help you a lot. I would like to give you a suggestion that if you're writing in a diary now, just purchase a diary which has a date written on that. Like for example, today is 6th August, the date is written in the diary. So in future, whenever you want to just go to your past and you want to read yourself, you can just open that particular page and you just can write it, because that will literally help you a lot. So it's like writing is not going to be magically solve your life, but because sometimes when you put your thoughts on a paper now, you finally get to see what is actually going inside you. And maybe that's where your diary can really do. It doesn't necessarily change your life, it can just help you understand the person who's living in it. So if you're starting your diary today, after a 6 months or the year end of the 2026, you can just go back and if you have changed your life, you can just go and see that how what you have progressed, what you have changed, or where you need to progress yourself, everything. So your diary have a record of it.